Hi, this is Disability Fraud. My name is Erin Fisher. This is for HIM 5320. When we're talking about disability fraud, I'm referring to Social Security disability. Social Security disability began in 1956. This is 20 years after the Social Security program itself started back in 1935. As of 2015, 9 million people were receiving Social Security disability benefits. This is according to the Social Security Administration. The Social Security Administration estimates to make about $7.8 billion in improper payments. With the current guidelines, the program acts as more of an unemployment insurance than a disability insurance. This is because the eligibility requirements and questionnaires are asking more about a beneficiary's employment status rather than questions about the disability that's affecting them. Need, greed, opportunity, and exiting the labor workforce. These are the constructs that we based our theories off of due to the research that we read and all of the theories in that research. So need stems from those already struggling financially, and committing fraud is very insignificant when you are extremely poor and in desperate situations. Greed is driven by those who do not necessarily need the disability insurance to support them financially, since they're paying their bills and all of that, but they are wanting the extra income to get those extra little things like a new phone or a new pair of shoes, things that aren't necessary. Opportunity comes from the gray areas in the program guidelines. Within the program guidelines, there are loopholes and gray area that can be exploited, and fraud can come into play. And then for exiting the labor workforce, there is research telling us that some workers may exit the labor workforce and apply for benefits even though they could still be working. There's nothing wrong with them, they don't have a disability, they could still be working, but they're still applying. This is the research model that we used for our research study. We have our constructs here: need, greed, opportunity, and exiting the labor workforce, all pointing us towards disability fraud. And then we have our hypothesis. With consideration of previous literature, we have determined 4 hypotheses. The first being that need will be positively related to disability fraud. Second, greed will be positively related to disability fraud. Next, opportunity will be positively related to disability fraud. And finally, exiting the labor workforce will be positively related to disability fraud. Results and discussion. So our individual p-values do not yield much power in our data analysis. And for reference, we did an online survey to disability beneficiaries, and we used a Likert scale to gauge the attitudes of those that we were surveying. So with that being said, based on linear regression that was conducted with our survey data, it appears as though none of our constructs are significant individually, although a significant R-square value upon analyzing all of our variables was present. This value, being 68%, provides much stronger explanatory power than our individual constructs. And then one of the limitations we had was that our sample size was not all that big, even though we tried to make it as inclusive as possible with using all sorts of people and backgrounds. We really wanted to include everybody and not leave anybody out. So in conclusion with our study, although it appears as though our individual variables may not explain disability fraud, we can say with more certainty that two or more combined constructs have more power over fraudulent claims. There is no doubt that some combination of our variables does in fact contribute to disability fraud, but clearly there is more to the story that needs to be investigated in order to get to the root of this problem that is affecting the vitality of this public policy. Thank you for listening.